As one of the most critical components of the American economy, the trucking industry plays a vital role in the transportation of goods across the country. However, the industry is facing several challenges that threaten to disrupt operations and increase costs. In this video, we will explore the reasons behind rising labor rates and parts shortages in truck repair shops, the main factors causing parts shortages in the trucking industry, how trucking companies have been dealing with these shortages, the outlook for labor rates and parts availability, and how recent supply chain disruptions have impacted the industry. We'll also discuss what truck drivers can do to prepare for these challenges. However, if before we dive in, you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and clicking the thumbs up on this video, that would be greatly appreciated. Alright, let's get into it. If you're a truck driver, you may have noticed that labor rates at repair shops have been on the rise. But why is this happening? One factor contributing to this trend is the shortage of skilled labor in the trucking industry.
Hey trucker, are you thinking of getting into flatbeds? Well, you're in luck because you've stumbled on the right channel. In fact, there's a whole section of educational videos on our channel that you can greatly benefit from. Videos like strapping loads, how to secure coils, how to use Conestoga flatbeds. Make sure you're taking advantage of these free videos that myself and my team have put together for you. I'll link the series of videos down below for you to check out, and now back to that video.
According to the State of Heavy Duty Repair Report by Fullbay, released at the spring meeting of the Technology and Maintenance Council, 52% of trucking companies are experiencing difficulty finding qualified technicians to work on their vehicles. This shortage of skilled labor has led to increased competition for technicians, which in turn has driven up labor rates. Another factor is the increasing complexity of modern trucks. As trucks have become more technologically advanced, repairs have become more complex, requiring specialized knowledge and equipment. This has also contributed to the shortage of skilled technicians, as not all technicians have the necessary training to work on these advanced systems. As a result, repair shops that specialize in these types of repairs can charge a premium for their services. Despite these challenges, there are some steps that truck drivers can take to minimize their repair costs. For example, regular preventative maintenance can help catch problems early before they become more serious and expensive to repair. Additionally, some repair shops offer loyalty programs or discounted rates for regular customers, so building a relationship with a trusted repair shop can pay off in the long run. One of the biggest challenges facing the trucking industry has been a shortage of parts. But what is causing this shortage? One factor is that the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted global supply chains, making it more difficult to get parts from suppliers. This has led to longer lead times for parts, which has in turn led to longer repair times and increased labor costs. Another factor is the semiconductor chip shortage. Semiconductors are essential components in many modern vehicles, including trucks, and are used in everything from engine control units to infotainment systems. However, a global shortage of semiconductors has led to delays in production and reduced availability of trucks and parts. This shortage is expected to continue into the coming months and could potentially impact repair times and costs even further. There's also been a surge in demand for trucking services due to the e-commerce boom. With more people shopping online than ever before, there has been a corresponding increase in the demand for trucks and trucking services. This increased demand has put pressure on suppliers and manufacturers to keep up with production, leading to delays in parts availabilities. So how have trucking companies been dealing with the challenge of parts shortages that have been caused by the global pandemic, semiconductor chip shortage, and increased demand for trucking services? One of the most common ways that trucking companies have been dealing with the parts shortages is by stockpiling critical parts. By doing this, companies can ensure that they have the necessary inventory to keep their vehicles on the road, even if certain parts become difficult to obtain. However, stockpiling parts can be expensive, and some companies may not have the resources to do so. Another strategy that companies have been using is to work closely with their suppliers to ensure that they get priority access to parts when they become available. This can involve building strong relationships with suppliers and being proactive in communicating their needs to them. By doing so, companies can increase the likelihood that they will get the parts they need in a timely manner. Additionally, some companies have been exploring alternative sourcing options for parts. For example, they may look for parts from different suppliers or even consider using remanufactured or used parts in certain situations. While this may not always be ideal, it can help to ensure that vehicles can be repaired and kept on the road, even in the face of parts shortages. Also, some companies have been investing in technology to help them better manage their inventory and parts procurement process. By using software and other tools, they can gain greater visibility into their supply chain and better anticipate when they may experience parts shortages. This can help them to be more proactive in addressing the issue and minimize downtime for their vehicles. You might wonder what labor rates and parts availability in the trucking industry in the coming months might look like. It is difficult to predict exactly what will happen with labor rates and parts availability in the trucking industry in the coming months, but there are some trends and indicators that can help us make some predictions. First, when it comes to labor rates, it is likely that they will continue to rise, at least in the short term. This is because there is a high demand for trucking services, but there are also not enough technicians to meet that demand. This has created a situation where mechanics are in high demand and can command higher wages. Additionally, the overall cost of doing business in the trucking industry has been increasing, which can put upward pressure on labor rates. When it comes to parts availability, there are some signs that the situation may improve in the coming months. For example, some of the supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic and other factors may start to ease, which could help to increase the availability of certain parts. Additionally, some manufacturers have been investing in new production facilities and increased production capacity, which could help to increase the overall supply of parts. However, there are some factors that could continue to put downward pressure on parts availability. For example, the semiconductor chip shortage is expected to continue to impact the industry for some time, which could make it difficult to obtain certain electronic components. Additionally, there is always the possibility of unexpected events, such as natural disasters or other disruptions, which could impact the availability of parts as well. Overall, it seems likely that the trucking industry will continue to face some challenges when it comes to labor rates and parts availability in the coming months. However, companies that are proactive and strategic in their approach to these challenges will be best positioned to weather the storm and succeed in the long run. Part of that storm is how the trucking industry has been significantly impacted by recent supply chain disruptions and port congestion. The pandemic has caused a surge in demand for goods, while at the same time disrupting global supply chains and causing delays at ports. One of the main ways that the trucking industry has been impacted is through increased transportation costs. With port congestion causing delays and disruptions, trucking companies have had to find alternative routes and modes of transportation, which has led to higher costs. Additionally, the shortage of truck drivers has led to increased competition for available drivers, which has also contributed to higher costs. Another way that the trucking industry has been impacted is through delays in delivery times. With port congestion and supply chain disruptions causing delays, it has become more difficult for trucking companies to meet their delivery deadlines. This can lead to unhappy customers and lost business opportunities. Finally, the recent supply chain disruptions and port congestion have highlighted the need for greater resilience and adaptability in the trucking industry. Companies that are able to quickly adjust their operations and find new ways of doing business will be best positioned to succeed in this rapidly changing environment. As a truck driver, there are several things that you can do to prepare for the challenges facing the trucking industry. One of the most important things is to stay informed about the latest developments and trends in the industry. Another important step is to maintain your equipment and keep it in good working condition. With parts shortages and rising labor rates, it's more important than ever to keep your truck well maintained to prevent breakdowns and minimize repair costs. It's also a good idea to build strong relationships with your customers and suppliers. By establishing open lines of communication and building trust, you can work together to find solutions to any challenges that may arise. Also, it's important to be flexible and adaptable in your approach. With the rapidly changing landscape of the trucking industry, the ability to quickly adjust to new circumstances is essential for success. So overall, the trucking industry is facing a number of challenges in the coming months and years. Despite these challenges, there are some steps that can be taken to mitigate their impact. By staying informed, maintaining equipment, building relationships, and remaining flexible, truck drivers and trucking companies can position themselves for success. It's important to note that while the current challenges facing the industry are significant, they are not insurmountable. With that being said, how do you plan on overcoming these obstacles? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with the world of trucking, and we'll catch you next time.